What's going on, y'all? I'm Czar, and in this video we're taking a look at the updated versions of the Audified U73b compressor and the U78 saturator. Both of these have been updated to version 3.0, and very briefly, there is a sale going on for both of these. They're on sale for $79 each, and that's going to run until August 7th, 2022, so you have a few days to take advantage of that if you want to. The U73b, this is a vari-mu tube compressor. Same with the saturator, it is a tube saturator. And let's go over the controls and then we'll let you hear what they sound like. So on both of these, on the left side, you notice we have a calibration knob that adjusts the calibration. This is meant to be calibrated to your audio interface outputs. I have mine set to -12, and by default it's set to -9. And once you set it to what you want to calibrate it to, you can select here in the settings and select that calibration as the default. If you leave it at -9 and your interface does -12, it's not that big of a deal, but you know, changing this will affect how the compressor reacts, because it will push the compressor more, and I'll show you that once we get started here. All right, middle section, we have 6 release times. The ones in black are fixed times, and the ones here in red are program dependent, but they are longer releases. Above that, we have a compressor bypass and limit button, and then we have a blend up to 100% for the wet and dry, which is not on the original hardware, but nice to see it in this plug-in version. And we have input and output controls as well. Something else a little different from the hardware version is it does not have a input knob. And we have auto makeup gain and input gain reduction and output for your VU metering. Looking at the U78 saturator, same thing. You have your calibration setting there. We have your gain up to from 0 to 100% for the saturation, high and low pass filters. I have no idea why the 200 hertz and 4.4 is in red here. In the middle, you have a tone button or tone knob that'll adjust from dark to bright. And you've got, again, a mix knob here. Output, you can do auto gain, and input and output on your VU meter. All right, we're going to start with the U73b compressor. Oh, one thing to point out, these two here, these are on the original hardware, but clicking these, they do nothing. Found that out the hard way. But this is a singer-songwriter named Me. This is just a vocal and a guitar. So I'm going to bypass the U73b compressor for right now. We're just going to listen to it, hear what it sounds like without any compression, and then we'll listen to it with the U73b.
If the bow breaks, it wasn't strong at all. We only expect the leaves to fall, leaping into that foliage, getting lost in the wilderness. If the bow breaks, it wasn't strong at all. We only expect the leaves to fall, leaping into that foliage, getting lost in the wilderness.
All right, so with this being a tube vari-mu style compressor, definitely looking for this to smooth this performance out a little. You can hear as well as see we've got some large peaks here. One in the middle that's not as bad, but definitely this one at the end needs to be smoothed out. All right, so let's engage the U73b. We've got an automatic attack here. As you see, there's no attack. The release we've got to 0.6, and we've got the auto makeup gain on. And yeah, let's see what this sounds like.
If the bow breaks, it wasn't strong at all. We only expect the leaves to fall, leaping into that foliage, getting lost in the wilderness. If the bow breaks, it wasn't strong at all. We only expect the leaves to fall, leaping into that foliage, getting lost in the wilderness.
All right, so that was pretty impressive. We're getting a lot of gain reduction, and it was still smooth. It didn't sound like the vocal was being squashed at all. I'm going to adjust this calibration just so you can see what that does. We're going to go from -12. Let's go to -6 and run that back.
If the bow breaks, it wasn't strong at all. We only expect the leaves to fall, leaping into that foliage, getting lost in the wilderness. If the bow breaks, it wasn't strong at all. We only expect for leaves to fall, leaping into that foliage, getting lost in the wilderness.
So we can hear not only did the vocal get louder, but we're also doing less compression there. So that's just a look at how the calibration can affect how the compressor is being driven. Let's check out one of these longer release times here. Let's go to the 6-second release time here. And remember, this one is program dependent.
If the bow breaks, it wasn't strong at all. We only expect the leaves to fall, leaping into that foliage, getting lost in the wilderness. If the bow breaks, it wasn't strong at all. We only expect the leaves to fall, leaping into that foliage, getting lost in the wilderness.
All right, so for the most part, that was still sounding smooth. Because that release was so long, I could still hear the compression going on as she was starting. From her stopping and starting, we still had quite a bit of compression being held over there with that really long release. So not a release setting I would use for this vocal. All right, now for the U78 saturator. Not going to really mess with the high and low pass filters, but we will take this gain up from 50% up to 100 so you can hear what it sounds like when it has the most gain for the saturation, and as well as this tone knob that goes from dark to bright. And I'll be bringing it in and out so you can hear the immediate difference.
If the bow breaks, it wasn't strong at all. We only expect the leaves to fall, leaping into that foliage, getting lost in the wilderness. If the bow breaks, it wasn't strong at all. We only expect the leaves to fall, leaping into that foliage, getting lost in the wilderness. If the bow breaks, it wasn't strong at all. We only expect the leaves to fall, leaping into that foliage, getting lost in the wilderness. If the bow breaks, it wasn't strong at all. We only expect the leaves to fall, leaping into that foliage, getting lost in the wilderness.
All right, so one thing you may notice that when I turned up the gain, the more I turned it up, it backed off the output. Let's set those back. But when I reset this, it doesn't reset the output. But with output at 0, gain at 50, and now it's not doing it. So I've noticed that it does this sometimes and it doesn't do it other times. I don't know if this is a bug or if this is user error. But with the auto makeup gain on and I turn this, let's see if it does it just when it's playing.
If the bow breaks, it wasn't strong at all. We only expect.
Interesting. So I guess only when it's playing and detecting signal and you push this gain is it going to back the output down. And actually the compressor does the same thing. So let's turn that off for a second. On the compressor, when you push the input, it backs off the output if you're on the auto makeup gain. So it's not doing it there. Let's play.
If the bow breaks, it wasn't strong at all. We only expect.
Okay, yeah, it's an interesting feature. So it does it when track is playing. But yeah, I like that feature. You can, as you turn up the gain, it backs off the output. Very nice feature, so you don't have to turn up the gain and then go over to the output and adjust that and keep messing with the blend of that. But you still have the ability to control the output independently as well if you want to. So I mean, if you wanted the gain at 100 and the output at 0, I mean, you can definitely do that. All right, so final thoughts on these two. The U73b compressor is a very colorful compressor. I noticed right away it definitely has a lot of color, and it has so much color to me that you may not even need the U78 saturator, but the compressor definitely brings things forward and adds a nice thickness and roundness. I like that. The saturator that bright. It can get too bright, if you go all the way. But I do like that little bit of brightness that it does add to this vocal here. And I've noticed that even at 100, it's not too much. It's close, but it's not too much. Some saturators, when you drive them all the way, you definitely get distortion. But I guess with this, because it's backing off the output as well, I can start to hear some breakup at 100%, but it's still a very usable sound that you're getting. Not something I would do for a vocal and a guitar, but I'm just surprised at how I can drive this to 100 and not get just flat out distortion like with some other saturators. But these two complement each other pretty well. Like, there's enough color in the compressor that I feel you don't need the saturator, but both of these can definitely stand on their own. Really, the only problem I have with this is kind of the price. $79 each feels like a lot to me. I mean, that's what, $160 for both of them. I would have maybe preferred like $49 each, so you can get both of them for $100. But $79 each just feels like a lot for me. But I will have a link in the description if you want to check these out, pick them up, or learn more about them. Definitely comment, let me know what you think about these. Do you think these go better together as a pair, or you think they stand alone on their own better? Definitely comment and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, I appreciate a thumbs up, and if you want to continue to see content from me, then you know what to do. Any questions, comments, let me know, and I'll catch y'all next time.